The gentleman from Iowa, Mr. King, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Madam Secretary, for your testimony here today. A number of curiosity has arisen in listening to your responses, and one of them is, did you have discussions with President Obama with regard to the policy within the June 15th memorandum prior to issuing that decision?
I did not.
Or with members of the White House that would have direct access to the President?
I informed the White House prior to the release of the memorandum that that was my intent to do so, but the internal meetings that we worked on and how we developed the program started in early May.
Does that mean that your staff had communications with White House staff with regard to this, and you had a sense that the President supported this decision?
Yes, they raised no objection to my intent to prioritize cases in the fashion that we have.
Were you surprised when you issued the memorandum that the President had a press conference scheduled within hours?
No.
That was coordinated with the DHS and the White House?
I don't think it was coordinated. Major announcement as to how we are prioritizing immigration enforcement, and it's appropriate for the President to speak to it. And
you pointed out Article 2, Section 3 in the Constitution, and I thought I had that memorized, and I looked it up, and I think I did. He shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed. I believe that's the section you're referring to when you assert your responsibility under the Constitution.
That's one of them, yes.
Okay.
A primary one, yes.
And if Congress is going to direct, Congress writes the laws, the President's been clear on that. I think you agree with the statement the President made, even though it's uncomfortable to see that contradiction today. But if Congress is to write a law that directs the executive branch to take care that the laws be faithfully executed, how would we write that bill if we wanted those laws enforced that you have decided now will not be? Next question will be behind this one.
Well, I can't speculate as to how you would write that, but I would simply say, based on my history as a prosecutor, there are lots of laws on the books within the framework of which prosecutors make decisions.
We understand prosecutorial discretion here. There have been many discussions on it. When I look through the reference to prosecutorial discretion on the June 15th memo, I see it mentioned 4 times in here. I see the individual basis mentioned 6 or 7 times. It looks like it's it looks like almost as if this is written anticipating the constitutional objection that I assure you I will bring. There is a separation of powers, and the executive branch cannot legislate by executive order, by memorandum. I accept Mr. Forbes' definition of executive order, but we cannot allow the Article 2 executive branch legislating by executive order. We must stand and assert this legislative authority that we have. And as I read this memorandum, you say in it, only the Congress acting through its legislative authority can confer these rights. But yet you've directed the director of USCIS to issue work permits for people that fit within 4 classes. This isn't an individual directive. It establishes 4 classes within it, and it directs USCIS to issue a work permit that does not exist. And our visas and work permits are creations of Congress, not the executive branch. And I'd ask you, will you rescind this before we have to take this to court?
Representative, I will not rescind it. It's right on the law. It's the right policy. It fits within our prosecutorial priorities. And although it came out of the Department of Homeland Security, let me say the President is foursquare behind it, embraces this policy as the right thing to do.
The President, foursquare in front of the Constitution, challenged it by myself and many members of this Congress. We have to assert this authority. The Founding Fathers envisioned that each branch of government would carefully protect the authority vested within this Constitution. And when you cross those lines and those bounds, and there are a whole list of things that have been done by this President, this one is the most clear. I accepted the prosecutorial discretion when it dealt with individuals. I do not when it deals with groups of people that are created by a memorandum, and I do not when it deals with a work permit that's ordered to be issued that doesn't exist in the United States Code, and that is the province of Congress. So I thank you for being here today, but we will see each other down the line in litigation.
Thank you, Mr. King.